I'm going to argue that the Republican Party is not actually serious about cutting spending the way that they campaigned on, the Tea Party campaigned on, incumbent Republicans campaigned on, challenger Republicans campaigned on, and even Republicans who weren't up for re-election said was the number one priority. We've got to cut spending. We can't increase the deficit. We can't increase the debt. Everything is on the table. Well, it turns out that might not actually be true. Just a few days ago, President Obama's Deficit Commission put out a proposal, and it would cut about $150 billion from defense spending. It's about a 10% cut in research and development. It also would redeploy some troops from some overseas bases. I think that Japan is on the list, Germany, just a short list of places where we really don't need as many troops as we have. Some would even go and say, we don't need the base. We don't need any troops there at all. Just for the hell of it, I won't say that. I'll say we'll just redeploy some of those troops. And Republicans basically just said no. And not only did they say no, they actually went further. They said, and I'll give you the quotes, essentially that not only should we not be decreasing defense spending, even though we were told, hey, everything is on the table, right? We're not preemptively saying no cuts to these specific areas. We not only need to not cut defense spending, if it doesn't go up, and not by a little bit, but by a lot, that is effectively a cut. Congressman Buck McKeon, who's, no surprise, a Republican from California, he is likely the incoming chairman of the House Armed Services Committee. So if you thought this guy doesn't make any difference, who cares what Buck McKeon says? He actually will certainly be affecting whether we are able to cut spending in these areas. He actually said, you know what? We need increased defense spending because it's just so vital to national interest. He took what I can only call a near-apocalyptic stance on any possible reductions in defense spending. And here's his quote: "A defense budget in decline portends an America in decline." And he actually said even a proposed 1% increase in defense spending over the next 5 years is tantamount to a spending cut. So even though we've been told nothing is off the table, spending needs to be cut, deficit can't go up, debt can't go up, nothing is off the table, we're preemptively hearing from California Republican Buck McKeon that not only are we not going to decrease defense spending, not only are we not going to keep it the same, not only is increasing it a little bit not enough, anything short of a significant continued increase in defense spending to Buck McKeon is essentially a reduction. That is a cut. So let's just take that at face value. Significant continued increases in defense spending are equivalent to staying level. Anything short of that is a cut. And these are the Republicans that are saying nothing is off the table for reducing the deficit, for reducing the debt. I think it is abundantly clear that we are not going to actually get any action after the words we got from Republicans and Tea Partiers and incumbents and challengers and the Republicans not even up for re-election on spending. They are not going to put their money where their mouth is. And I'm already getting emails. We talked about this on the David Pakman Show a few days ago. I'm already getting emails from my conservative audience saying, give them a chance. They're not even in office yet. How do you know what they're going to do? And the hypocrisy of those comments is just hilarious. Anytime that Republicans are actually saying what they're going to do ahead of time, but they haven't actually done it yet, I get a flood of emails from conservatives saying, hey, even though they've said it, they haven't actually done it yet. You can't comment on it yet. But if Democrats even hint at what they might do after being elected, depending on what the circumstances are that come up, are those conservatives going to say, let's take a wait and see attitude then? And you know what? What's even more unbelievable is, hey, I'm not denying that the Republicans did well in the House in this latest midterm election. But we are not seeing a particularly happy electorate now that is saying, hey, we're thrilled Republicans are taking over. Very similar to the 2006 midterm election, where people were generally not thrilled about Democrats, but just very unhappy with George W. Bush and the Republican Congress. That is really the reason why we saw what happened on November 2nd happen. And if you look at the polls, between 40 and 48% of voters are actually happy about the Republican Congress that's coming up. And to be honest, if you actually look even closer at the polls, further down the list usually, not only is there not overwhelming glee that Republicans are taking over, nobody thinks anything will change. I think something like 20 or 22%, I think I have it here somewhere, 22% actually say Democrats will work together and get anything done. So it's not looking good. Not that I needed to tell you that, but specifically on the issue of spending, I think we are going to see almost nothing actually done.